Hello my dear students, welcome back to the video lesson. I am Shweta Gupta, your maths teacher, and today I am going to do the revision of lesson number 11. The topic of the chapter is rounding numbers. As we have already learned how to do the rounding off of whole numbers and of decimal fraction in this chapter. So in this given video lesson we are going to revise again how to do the rounding off of the whole number and that of the decimal fraction. So first of all, let us solve some of the question based on the rounding off of the whole numbers. So now I have one number which is 39944, right? So this is a whole number and I am going to round off this number. In the first question I am going to round off the number to the 10th place, right? We will round off this number 39,944 to the nearest 10th place. So what is the first step, children? This is my first question. So what is the first step? First step is to find out the digit at the rounding off place. Since we have to round off this 39 to the nearest, since we are rounding off this given number to the nearest 10th place, we will check what is the digit at the 10th place. So the digit at the 10th place is 4. So we will just, for our convenience, we are going to underline this digit. In the next step, what we will see what is the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place. So the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place is 4, right? Now in our third step, we will check whether the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place is bigger than 5, equal to 5 or less than 5. So in this case, the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place is 4 and 4 is less than 5. So in our next step, what we will do? We will not change the digit at the rounding off place. If the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place is less than 5, we will not change the digit at the rounding off place. Our rounding off place is 10th place, so we are not going to change the digit at the rounding off place, which is 4. The digit here is 4 and we are not going to change this digit. Okay, so we will write 4, we will write the digit, at the rounding off place as it is. Okay, means we will not change the digit. And in the last step, what we are going to do? We will replace all the digits on the right hand side of the rounding off place by 0, right? So now what will be our answer? Well, this 39,944, when we will round off this number to the nearest 10th place, it will become 39,940. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now let's do the second question. Again, this question is also based on the rounding off of the whole number. So let's come to the next question. So my next question is, so we are going to round off this number, round off 9,10,734 to the nearest 1000. place. To the nearest 1000 place. Right. So this is my question number 2. So what will be my first step? We will check the digit at the rounding off place. Our rounding off place is 1000 place. So we will check the digit at the rounding off place. So what is the digit at the rounding off place? The digit at the rounding off place is 0 and we are going to underline that digit, right? Now in the second step, what we will do? We will see the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place. So what is the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place? The digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place is 7. Now in our third step, we will check whether 7 is bigger than 5, equal to 5 or less than 5. So in this case, 7 is bigger than 5. So in our next step, what we are going to do? We will add 1 to the digit at the rounding off place. Our rounding off place is 1000 place. Add 1 to the digit at the rounding off place, and our rounding off place is what? It is 1000, right? So we will add this digit at the 1000 place is 0, so we will add 1 to 0 and it will become 1, right? And in our last step, what we will do? We will replace all the digits. Replace all the digits on the right hand side. Right hand side of the rounding off place by 0, right? So now our number, which is 9,10,734, it will change to 9,11,000, right? So this digit will become 9,11,000. So I hope you have understood this question. So now let us revise how to do the rounding off of the decimal fraction or the decimal number. So now I have one decimal number which is 48.645, and the first question of this number, the first part of this question is that we have to round off 48.645 to the nearest one place, to the nearest one's place, or to the nearest one, right? So now what will be our first step? The first step is to check the digit at the rounding off place, and the rounding off place is ones place, and the digit at the ones place is 8. Okay, so we will underline this digit. In the second step, we will follow the same step as we have done in the rounding off of the whole number. So now in the second step, we will check the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place. So what is the digit? It is 6, right? And in our third step, we will follow the same step. We will check whether 6 is bigger than 5, equal to 5 or less than 5. And in this case, the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place is bigger than 5. 6 is bigger than 5. So what we will do? We will add 1 to the digit at the rounding off place. And our rounding off place is 1 place. So at the rounding off place. And what is the digit at the rounding off place? The digit at the rounding off place is 8. We will add 1 to 8 and it will become 9. So, and in the last step, we we will drop all the digits. Drop means we will not write. We will drop all the digits on the right hand side. Right hand side of the rounding place. So that is, this is our rounding of place. Ones place is our rounding of place, and whatever the digits are 6, 4, 5. So we will drop them. That is, we will not write these digits. So when I round off 48.645 to the nearest ones place, it will become 49. Right? Now children, let's do another question, B part of this question. In this question, what we will do? Let's see. We will round off the same number to the nearest 10th place. Right? To the nearest 10th or first place of decimal. 10th means the first place of decimal. So now let's see. First step will be, now this is the B part of the question number 3, and what will be our first step? We will check what is the digit at the rounding off place. So our rounding off place is 6. Sorry, our rounding off place is 10th place, and the digit at the 10th place is 6. Okay, the digit at the 10th place is 6. So now children, we will underline that digit. In the next step, what we will do? We will see the digit on the right hand side of the 10th place. So the digit on the right hand side of the 10th place is 4. And in our third step, what we will do? We will check whether the digit on the right hand side of the 10th place is bigger than 5, equal to 5 or less than 5. If it is bigger than 5 or equal to 5, in that case we will add 1 to the digit at the rounding off place. But if it is less than 5, we are not going to change the digit at the rounding off place. So children, we can see that the digit on the right hand side of the rounding off place is 4, and 4 is less than 5, right? So we will write the digit at the rounding off place as it is, right? As it is. We will not change it. So 6 will remain 6. Okay. And in the last step, we will draw all the digits on the right hand side of the rounding place. Right. So now 48.645, when rounded off to the nearest tens place, it will become 48.6. Right. So children, I hope you have understood how to do the rounding off of the decimal fraction. Now children, we will do one more question that is also based on rounding off. And the question is, write the quotient rounded off to the second place of decimal. Second place of decimal. And the question is 15 divided by 7. So this is our fourth question. So now children, in this question what we will do? First we will divide, and whatever question we will get, we will round off that question to the second place of decimal. And if we want to round off the quotient to the second place of decimal, we need to do the division till we get the quotient to the third place of decimal. Okay, since we are rounding off the quotient to the second place of decimal, we have to divide and find the quotient till the third place of decimal. Let's see how we will do it. So I am dividing 15 by 7, right? So 7 2s are 14, and I got the remainder. I'll get the remainder 1. Now since 1 is less than 7, so what we will do? We will put a decimal point right in the quotient, and we will add 1 0. Now again we will divide 10 by 7, and we get the quotient 1, right? And now what is our remainder? Our remainder is 3. Again we are going to add 1 0, right, at this step, and now our quotient will be 2.14. But here, since we have to round off the quotient to the second place of decimal, we have to do the division. We have to further do the division and write the quotient till the third place of decimal, right? So now in this step also we will write 1 0, add 1 0, and now we will leave the division here itself, and we get the quotient as 2.142, and we have to round off this quotient to the second place of decimal. So what is the digit at the second place of decimal? It is 4, right? And now we will check the digit on the right hand side of the second place of decimal. What is it? It is 2, but 2 is less than 5. So we will write 4 as it is. We will not add 1 to the digit at the rounding off place. Okay, so 4 we will write 4 as it is, and we will drop all the digits on the right hand side of the rounding off place, right? We will drop them, we will not write them. So our final answer will be, or we can write the answer here only, it will be 2.14. I hope you have understood this question very well. So now children, let's come to the homework. We have done the revision of the rounding off, and we have again revised how to do the rounding off of the whole number and that of the decimal fraction. So now let's do some of the questions for homework. So what is your homework? Let's see. First question is round off. This is our first question for the homework, and our first question is round off 43,67,982 A part to the nearest tens place. B part to the nearest 100 place. C part to the nearest 10,000 place, right? Our second question is round off. Now this question is based on the rounding off of the decimal fraction. So you are going to round off 1.2336 A part to the nearest 1. B part to the nearest thousandth place, and C part to the nearest 10th place. Okay. So children, this is your homework. This is your homework. I hope, so this way we come to the end of our video lesson. I hope you have very well understood how to do the rounding off of the whole number as well as that of decimal fraction. Okay children, thank you so much. Now we will meet in our next video lesson.